and you consume and you consume and you consume and it gets to a point where you get to that cycle, like you're consuming more than you're even creating, and that's a form of procrastination. New. So I don't care what they're thinking of me. If you don't like avocado, I don't understand you. Hey y'all, I just got this dress. I'm still contemplating if I want to keep it or return it. I don't know. I'm still thinking because I like the top, right? I really love the top, but the bottom, it's more like, it's more like, I don't know how to explain it. But I've been getting so many dresses for this summer, like so many colorful dresses. I got this flower. Anyways, you're gonna see it in the summer, but yeah, for now. Anyways, here today we have, I'm gonna be yapping while I'm eating. Avocado, eggs mixed with spinach, tomatoes, onions, and spices, and we have toasted bread. I can eat avocado by itself with nothing, and it's so good. It has this buttery taste in itself that it doesn't need any type of seasoning to make it good. Like, if you don't like avocado, I don't understand you. Like, if you don't like avocado, I don't understand you. Look at that. That looks so good. So you make it in a guacamole type of form, and then I'm gonna put my eggs on top, and this is what we have. Beautiful, beautiful, right? Beautiful. Okay, so it's so weird to eat in front of a camera. I feel like I'm performing. Ew. I added some Parmesan cheese. I normally don't use Parmesan cheese, but I recently made Alfredo chicken pasta. That's my favorite meal. You come on now. I recently made Alfredo pasta and I tried it with Parmesan. I never really cook it with Parmesan. I add other type of cheese and it was really good. I try to make it more healthier, so I used the coconut milk in those cans with no sweetness, so the unsweetened coconut milk in the can, and to my surprise it tasted really good, so good. So the leftover cheese that I have in the fridge, I just use that to cook my eggs with it. And it's so good. This is a 10 out of 10. I know it's my own cooking, but like, it's really good. So the topic of today is stop consuming and start creating. How are you today? How are you? Really? As for me, I'm good for now, but I just feel like I've been forcing myself to be good. Sometimes when you're not good, you have to force yourself to be good. You have to do things to feel good. You have to find things that make you happy to feel good. Because sometimes I get like, when you have friends, like there's this thing like, yeah, nobody's coming to save you, but sometimes you really do have to like do things to make yourself happy, regardless of the circumstance or situation that you're in. Like, obviously, yes, you have loved one, but there's times where you're gonna have to do things on your own to push yourself to be happy. You have to do things because it's like you have your own body. Like, nobody's gonna come and, okay, let me read her heart. Okay, what makes her happy? Like, okay, so come, let's do something. Like, all I'm saying is, yes, you might have friends that would do this, but there's days that you're gonna have to force yourself to do things that makes you feel at least better to get through life. And I hope you're also doing things to fill your own cup. All right, so the topic of today is to start creating more than you consume. We have this thing where we're like, oh yeah, I can't really start yet because I don't know much about that thing, although you might be good at it, right? And someone saw something in you and they're pushing you to do it, or there's something that you've been wanting to start, but you're like, no, I don't think I'm that good. Like, let me just start doing my research, right? Let me start doing that research. So you start like doing your research. You go on Google, you go on whatever you call research, sometimes even TikTok search bar or like YouTube, and you consume and you consume and you consume and it gets to a point where you get to that cycle, like you're consuming more than you're even creating. And that's a form of procrastination, because you're like, well, now that I have so many voices and I don't know where to start. That's when you just start. If you have to put a pause on all those videos and all that, do that and just start creating. You might fall in the cycle of simply just consuming, and then you're like, okay, today I'm really gonna start, and then you end up seeing another video. You're like, okay, let me just watch this video, and you watch the video and like you really don't see the time passing and you have not started creating. So just start. Even if you don't know, like, start. That's how you learn. You make mistakes, because sometimes also when we don't start, it's because we're scared to fail, we're scared to make mistake, especially if you're a person who you're like a perfectionist. You don't want to do things and you don't want to mess up, but that's when you learn. I'm a type of person that sometimes I am a perfectionist, but I started letting go of that part of myself, and I like to start new things. I like to create new things. I like to bake. I'm not best at it, but I recently made cookies, and they were tasty, but they were not what I expected. They were not what I wanted. Like, it was more harder. The first time tasted like dough, but it was just harder. So it was like a good snack to snack on, but it didn't taste like cookies. So I did it again, and this time I did use butter, and this time I kept the dough overnight, and the only difference is that it had more taste, but it was still harder. And like, I thought that the cookie would flatten when I put in the oven, but it stayed like those small cookies, and I'm like, okay, next time this is what I'm gonna try do. So like, when you try something and you don't know, you see, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? Why did it not meet my expectation? And while you're in the starting, while you already started, you know where you can work on to change. So like, for the cookies, next time if I make cookies again, I would know how to change it, how to cook a different way, like how to bake, not cook, how to bake in a different way or use a different method to kind of reach my expectation. And same thing with whatever you want to start creating. You have to start creating to know where you need to work more on. So if you don't start, how would you know? Like, you have done enough consuming. Even with this video, this is probably like, you have done enough consuming. Like, just start like now. That thing of like, I'm gonna do it later, can cost you so much time, to a point that you might even become like 30 and you're like, where did the time go? So yeah, just start. You will learn when you start. And just also, don't attach your mistakes to your self-worth. I think that's where a lot of us go wrong. When we mess up, we feel like something is wrong with us, or like, yeah, that's how I used to feel before, but that's a mindset that I changed. But like, something is wrong with me, like, why did I miss out, so you're lying, you're attaching yourself to your mistakes. You should not be doing that. Your mistakes is a sign that you need to work more or change the way that you're doing it, or maybe your method wasn't the right way, or you're missing knowledge, but it has nothing to do with you as a person. So when you start like detaching those two, then I think you'll do a better job at creating whatever you're creating, whatever that's new. And also, like, our body tends to like feel more anxious when we're doing something new, because that's just how the nervous system is. Like, if we're in a new environment, like, it's kind of like trying to protect you, but then you have to convince yourself like that you're safe, what you're doing is safe. Another reason that we also wait to start is the is the perception of other people. When you're starting something new, especially if it's in the eyes of the public, your brain goes to like all over the place. Am I being perceived the right way? And all those thoughts create anxious thoughts and makes you anxious because you're so worried about what people are thinking about what you're doing new, that you might not even start because you're worried about what they would think. But you have to sit down and think like, is this my own life or is this their life? If I am, then yes, I'm allowed to try, I'm allowed to mess up, I'm allowed to get up again, I'm allowed to try again, I'm allowed to try new things, whether it's accepted societal wide whether it's accepted in the society, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, I'm trying something new. So I don't care what they're thinking of me. You have to tell yourself that. And even if you feel the fear, you have to do it regardless, and that's what makes you a brave person. But there's never gonna be a time where you're trying something that scares you and you're not gonna feel that fear. It's gonna be there, but the more that you do it, that's where it's gonna start, like your body gonna start feeling safe, because you know that, oh, I've done that in the past. You have that memory already saved in your mind, and your mind is like, okay, that's safe, we don't need to be anxious about that anymore. But like, don't wait to feel good or like to feel ready to start. Just start, even if you feel scared. Like, regardless of how you feel, just start. There's this saying I also saw that was such a cute way of perceiving something. Let's say you were about to do something that scared you, like public speaking, for example, and your heart was like, you were scared, like scared. You were like, I'm about to pass out right this second. I'm about to, yeah. And then you have to think about it like your heart is cheering on you, basically. Like, you know how it's going, like Peter, Peter, Peter. You have to imagine like, if I find it, I wish I could find it. So the quote was like, someone told me that when they feel nervous about doing something and their heart start beating really fast, that they call it their inner applause, because the body is cheering them on. And I think that's the cutest narrative adjustment ever. So just, there's different way of perceiving things, and if you have a thought, that thought become your emotion. So if you see this as your body is cheering on you and your heart is cheering on you, you would have a better outcome compared to like, oh my gosh, I'm getting anxious, I might start messing up, compared to someone who's thinking this way. Like, the outcomes might greatly differ. So that's the end of the video. I'll see you on my next one. Bye.